America copied almost everything France built in the 1930s. The concrete formulas, the armored turrets, the underground railways, the blast doors, the air filtration systems, even the casemate angles. But they missed the one layout rule, the one design principle that made the French Maginot Line almost impossible to destroy. And without that principle, every American bunker built afterward was strong, but never impenetrable. This is the story of how the US adopted the hardware of French engineering, but not the geometry that made it unstoppable. The myth. The Maginot Line failed. Most people think the Maginot Line was a disaster, a joke, a wall Germany just walked around. But the truth is far stranger, and far more important to America's engineers. Because Germany didn't defeat the Maginot Line, they avoided it. And more importantly, they avoided it because they couldn't break it. When the Germans tried attacking French forts directly, they discovered something they did not expect. They were invulnerable. Inside the forts at Schonenberg, Hackenberg, and Fermont, French garrisons took 420mm siege gun hits, Stuka dive-bombing runs, heavy artillery barrages, flamethrower assaults, infantry charges, and the forts stayed intact. German commanders admitted privately, if we had attacked the line directly, the war would have stalled for months. So what made the Maginot Line so strong? Not the concrete, not the armor, not the guns. It was the layout. And that's exactly what America failed to copy. America studied the line and missed the secret. When US Army engineers entered France in 1944, they inspected Maginot Line forts from top to bottom. They documented everything. The steel retractable turrets, the sliding anti-tank gun blocks, the underground railways, the blast doors, the air filtration systems, even the casemate angles. American engineering reports concluded, no existing US coastal fortification matches this complexity. So the US copied dozens of French design elements. You can see Maginot influence in US coastal defenses in Maine, California, and Washington, the Panama Canal fortifications, Cold War missile control bunkers, NORAD's blast-hardened structures, underground command centers across America. But they copied the wrong part. They copied the structure, but not the system, because the Maginot Line wasn't just a line, it was a machine. The one layout rule the US never adopted. Here is the secret that made the Maginot Line so hard to crack. Every bunker, gun, and casemate was positioned so it never fired forward, only sideways. This is the layout America never copied. France perfected the geometry of lateral interlocking fire. Nothing pointed towards Germany. Instead, every German soldier advancing towards a fort found themselves in a triangular kill zone, where they were shot at from the left, from the right, and often from behind, but never from the structure directly in front of them. Why? Because a frontal bunker is easy to destroy. A side-firing bunker, protected by terrain, is almost impossible to target. This layout rule created perfectly overlapping fields of fire that were pre-calculated decades before the war. Not flexible defense, not adjust to enemy movement, not fire where needed. France built mathematical kill corridors where every inch of land had been measured, mapped, and assigned to specific guns. America did not adopt this. Most US bunkers were forward-facing, isolated, vulnerable to encirclement, unconnected, and predictable. They were strong, but not invulnerable. France built an interlocked grid. America built strongpoints. That difference is everything. What America did copy and why it wasn't enough. America copied French concrete strengthening formulas, French airtight gas filtration, French periscope designs, French armored turrets, French shell trap hallway architecture, French emergency power layouts. But these were accessories. They were not the reason German units took catastrophic losses whenever they tried to approach French forts. What America did not copy. 1. Lateral fire casemate geometry. The US kept forward-facing guns. That made the structures much easier to target. 2. Deep underground network fortresses. France connected forts with railway tunnels, creating single defensive organisms. America built separated bunkers. 3. Pre-calculated fire control maps. French officers could predict exactly where enemy units would die before the enemy even attacked. 4. Mutual, guaranteed support. Every French bunker protected the next. If one fell, 2 more would fire into that area. The US built standalone forts without guaranteed overlap. 5. Immersed flanking protection. French forts were positioned behind natural obstacles to force attackers into crossfire. US forts prioritized coastline visibility, not protected geometric traps. Germany's secret report: why they feared the French layout. Captured German reports revealed the truth. The Maginot fortresses cannot be destroyed without unacceptable losses. Another German field note stated, "The interlocking fire prevents any forward assault." The Germans didn't walk around the line because it was weak. They avoided it because it was too strong. And this never made it into the American copy, because US engineers thought the Maginot Line's strength was in the concrete and the guns, but its true power was the layout, a layout the US never fully understood. The result: strong US bunkers, but never impenetrable. American coastal bunkers in World War II were tough. They used thick concrete, they withstood shells, they resisted bombing. But they lacked the French system, the lateral fire grid, the triangulated kill corridors, the underground networks, the mathematically engineered no-escape geometry. So they were strong, but not unbeatable. France didn't build a line. France built a 3-dimensional battlefield where the enemy could never face a single direction without being exposed to another. That was the layout America didn't copy. That was the detail that made the Maginot Line impenetrable. Ending narration. In the end, the Maginot Line didn't fail. The strategy around it did. But the engineering, the layout, the mathematics, they were so advanced that even the United States could reproduce the concrete, but never the genius behind the geometry. America copied the armor. America copied the guns. America copied the concrete. But they missed the one thing that turned the Maginot Line into a fortress Germany refused to fight: the layout. The interlocking fire design that made the French bunker system one of the most impenetrable in military history.